My name is Anthony Cicco, as Father said, and I'm in 11th grade at North Allegheny High School. I'm also a parishioner at St Alphonsus here, and as a parishioner I participate as an altar server in the music ministry with my violin and as a lector. I've been playing violin for almost 14 years now, and I continue to do it at Mass during weddings and every week that I can.
Yeah, he's usually down here at 10 o'clock Mass playing violin, so you guys always get to enjoy him. So I was trying to find him before Mass, so I was looking over here because I never see Anthony on this side of the church. He's always over here. And you're involved in several other different things, in youth ministry and what else? I see you at the fish fry.
Yeah, I work in the kitchen in the fish fry, so I'm there, but you don't really see me that much. Fish fry, mission trip, youth group, and Boy Scouts as well.
Yeah. All of you can do fish takeout. He's wrapped your fish. So. Now, with these readings this week, with Jesus telling this story and with this miracle, what was it like when you were younger and you heard a miracle story?
When I was younger, in middle school, I attended St Alphonsus here, and most of us knew the scriptures and the readings because we heard them on a daily basis in religion class. So when I was younger, picturing the scriptures, I pictured literally the stories of what happened. For example, this week, the man who's blind, and now he sees. I literally pictured Jesus performing a miracle, and that was it.
Okay. And what's changed?
Now, I see more of what Jesus is trying to say, and I try to understand the scriptures, not just literally what's going on in it. And I try to, instead of just listening to the literal message, trying to put myself into the scriptures and understand what's going on.
And where did you put yourself this weekend?
This week, I tried to put myself as one of the townspeople that might have seen the beggar earlier, and then after Jesus performed the miracle, kind of the confusion of what was going on and not really understanding.
What's it like to do that? I mean, what kind of insights do you get during different things?
I think it allows you to use a little bit of your imagination, and it helps you to more clearly think and process what's really going on in the scriptures. It's an easier way for myself to try to understand what Jesus is saying.
Okay. And also with the first reading today on King David, King David was kind of a person that people would have said was anointed king ahead of his time. What kind of things in your life have sort of happened before your time, before what people would say, this is the time for this? You know, what was going on there?
Well, going back to me playing violin for almost 14 years now, I started when I was around 3 years old, and I kind of relate that to the anointing of King David because it was sort of out of the blue. The story was that I just one day asked my parents that I wanted to play the violin, and as normal parents would think, why is my child's 3 years old and he's asking me to play violin. It's not something that happens usually, that young especially, and it was something that, just like the anointing of King David, was completely out of the blue, but it was something that God allowed to happen.
It's an eye-opening experience on both sides, for you and for your parents, and then also for Samuel, and for King David and Jesse and all of them. It's like, this is not what was expected. And then when we get to the man born blind, and then the people in the town, everybody's like, what is going on here? What is God trying to show us? Because all of these different things. So, how has God been faithful to you?
God being faithful to me, I also try to relate that back to playing violin at Mass. He allowed me to have the privilege at such a young age to learn how to play violin and to stick with it and have the determination to do it and the discipline. He allowed for that to happen. And then he allowed later opportunities to open that up to performance with Mass. When I was 6 years old, around roughly, my first performance really, after starting playing violin for a little while, was in St Alphonsus here with the children's choir Christmas Eve Mass, which John Denisi and I put together a little piece, and that was pretty much the beginning of playing Mass here at St Alphonsus. And then after that, other opportunities started to open up. I met Mrs. Hagee, and from there on, I've been playing at Mass ever since.
And that just started you in other ministries in the church then too. You became an altar server?
I became an altar server, and then not too long ago, a lector.
Okay. And these different doors, as time went on, just kept opening, and you kept seeing different possibilities. You know, it's not the man born blind all of a sudden saw everything at once. But for most of us, it's a little bit here and there through life. You know, we follow God to a point, and then it's like, okay, let me show you something a little bit different. You know, it started off as violin, but all of this has been in God's service. You know, we don't understand why he does what he does, why he gives us the talents and abilities he does, but we use them and we keep moving through life. And you've taken some of these gifts and your mission trips with the youth ministry, youth group, have been really powerful. Would you share a little about those mission trips?
I've been on 2 mission trips, one to Joplin, Missouri, and one to New Jersey last year. And the one thing I can say was they were both an eye-opening experience. Seeing the devastation at both of the places was just, it was kind of amazing to see what actually happened firsthand. And in Joplin, it's hard to imagine, but literally when we got there, there weren't trees for miles around. I know it's hard for us to imagine because we have trees all around here, but it was completely flat. There was debris everywhere, and we were there as missionaries to help these people, to help them rebuild and help them rebuild their lives and get back going, staying strong. And it was an honor and a privilege to help these people. And myself personally, I thought it was great that God was allowing me to go and serve these people, helping them to see the hope and the mercy of God.
And that's what our eyes are open to. God shows his love and mercy. He's given us these gifts. And then he calls us to go to different places and be his presence, to see what needs done, to be his eyes and ears and hands, and to do his work. And then to let others know, like now, that this is what's going on. This is what needs to be done. And to say, let me help you open your eyes so that you can continue. And so our eyes continue to be open to the results, to the request for food from the food bank. The response is just amazing. Now, as I said last week, well, it wasn't this mess, but anyway, we knew last week that this week's was going to be looking less. I mean, $15 worth of paper towel is huge. $15 for canned goods is not as big, but this is still a fantastic response. You know, the visual is not there like last week, but it's still impressive. That we see the need to offer hope to others. That God has opened our eyes to these needs and says, let me help. Our eyes are open. He's given us the gift of sight to be able to do his work. Not to just look out for what we want, but as Anthony saw in Joplin and in New Jersey, to see what God has in store for us. To see what God's needs are and how we can help. And with this food bank, we're a part of that mission. We are a part of that ministry. This is our identity. To realize the gifts that God has given to us and then to share them. And in that is fulfillment, and in that is joy. Anthony, thank you very much for sharing with us this week.
Father.
Let's give Anthony a round of applause.